guys, it's Olivia and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for the love and support received in my last video, and if you have not seen it yet, feel free to head over to my channel to check it out. Well guys, welcome back to Live in Literature. So happy to see you all here. Guys, we have a very fun video ready for you today. This one took me a minute to think of. I was very confused on how to title this video, and it was just something that I was feeling kind of passionate about. I was very inspired by a fellow book talker named Jamie on Book Talk. Here's her little handle. Thank you, Jamie, for this inspiration. She's fabulous, and I really like her recommendations, but in this video that she posted is what inspired this video. I didn't agree with her books that she was talking about. And the video that I'm talking about that we're going to do today is I want to talk about Romantasy series I won't be continuing versus Romantasy series I will be continuing. Now, I decided to stick it to true romantasies, okay? So these are what I value as a true romantasy. This is not going to be epic fantasy romances. This is going to be romantasies, which is heavy on the romance with fantasy that is an element throughout the entire book. Not fantasy romance, which is heavy on fantasy, subtle on the romance, which is mostly my preferred genre. I would say that my preferred genre is fantasy romance, but I wanted to stick to romantasies because I have been loving reading romantasies recently over this past year. It has been really fun, and I love romance. I love it. It is so fun.
Oh, it's so romantic.
And I thought that I was really inspired by her video because I thought it was interesting the books that she chose not to continue reading, because the ones that she chose were books that I do not agree with. I don't agree with at all. If anything, I'm like, girl, keep reading. And so I wanted to talk about my books that I won't be continue reading. There are a couple of series, very popular book talk romantasy series that I will not be continuing because I don't like them, or I think they're bad or something, okay?
I hate it. I don't hate it. I just don't like it at all.
There's something that's drawn me away, and I want to talk about them today. So that is what we're going to talk about, and I'm so excited. Hey guys, I'm here to interrupt this video really fast by announcing that we reached 900 subscribers on the YouTube channel. I am literally so excited, and thank you guys so much for subscribing. To all the new people here, thank you so much. For all my old subscribers, thank you so much for being here and sticking this out with me. You guys have known that my goal has been to reach 1,000 by the end of the year, and I still think we can do it. And thank you guys so much for helping me reach 900. It means the absolute world to me. We will be doing a giveaway. There is going to be a giveaway link in the description. It will be in the description. Please click on it. And you guys will have a chance to win 2 books, a book tote, and a book boyfriend bookmark of your choosing. If you guys fill out the survey and enter the giveaway, I will go through and randomize and pick whoever wins. And whoever randomly wins will get those things. And you can either have me pick your books or you can pick the books that you want. It'll all be in the Google link that will be down below. Again, I just wanted to say a huge thank you guys so much for supporting me and supporting this channel. It literally means the absolute world to me, and I just wanted to do something to give back a little bit, and especially because it's the holidays. So don't forget to click the link in the description of this video. You will have 1 week to enter, and I will pick a giveaway winner by that time. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video that you're watching right now. Bye! In last week's video, I decided to start implementing a new segment on the channel. At the beginning of each video, I want to talk about what I just finished reading versus what I'm currently reading. And I'm not going to go super in depth because one of these books we're going to be talking about today. But I wanted to talk about, I just finished Alex Astor's Skyshade, guys. I finished Skyshade. I have a lot of thoughts. We'll be getting into it in this video, okay? I have a lot of thoughts about this book. All you need to know is I rated it 3 stars.
She's so fine, she done pissing me off.
And all you need to know is that Alex Astor, you're on my hit list, okay? That's all you need to know. So I finished Skyshade, and now I'm moving on to Isabella Ibanez, Where the Library Hides, which is the second book in this duology. I am absolutely obsessed with this duology. It was one of my most favorite reads from last year. Was the first one, which is What the River Knows. This one I am so excited for. I'm already you can see my Cassian bookmark, he's peeking out. I'm 100 pages in. I'm already enjoying it. It's already so fun and everything. I'm just living for this YA mummy Egyptian with a little sprinkle of some historical fantasy thrown in there. It is absolutely so much fun. So I'm absolutely loving this so far. And I can't wait to give you guys my full review on this book once I'm done. So without further ado, let's get into Romantasy series I won't be continuing versus Romantasy series I will be. Let's get started. The first one I want to talk about is one that is no shock to anybody, maybe if you have been a longtime subscriber of the channel. I will not be continuing Carrie Maniscalco's Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy, okay?
What? No, dude!
I've actually read book 1 and 2 in this series. I've read Kingdom of the Wicked and I've read Kingdom of the Cursed. I actually own Kingdom of the Feared, which is the 3rd book in the trilogy. I refuse to read it. I'm refusing to read this series anymore. I'm done with Carrie Maniscalco, okay? She's on my hit list, okay? Carrie Maniscalco, for me, is one of those authors that I'm like, you are brilliant. Like, you have good ideas. You have a brilliant thought. Like, it's a great thought. Like, the idea for this book is brilliant. It's Amelia and Victoria, 2 witch sisters living in Italy. Like, they're both very, like naive and like young. They're like 16 or 17 or whatever. And her sister goes missing. And so then on accident, Amelia summons like the demon Wrath, like from the underworld on accident. And she like gets him to like help her, like try to find her sister. A brilliant concept, because then it has to do with like the realms of hell, and there's like 7 brothers who all have the 7 deadly sins, and like each of the brothers is like has like really complex ideas and stuff. Like, I actually think the concept for this book series is brilliant. It's brilliant. I think it's such a great idea. I just wish it was written better. I'll be honest, like the writing in this is so poor for me that I can't stomach it. I literally can't. Like, I remember finishing Kingdom of the Cursed and being more confused than when I started. I'm like, okay, so I have 1,000 more questions than when I finished. And not only that, but I just like, the writing was so poor. It just felt like we were just skipping to like the spice more than anything, which, don't get me wrong, I love spice, okay?
I'm okay. I love hot food.
I read Phantasma. Last week I talked about how amazing Phantasma was. It was chef's kisses. It was spice heavy, and it was like interesting romantasy plot that was thoughtful, thought through, and I felt like it was really well written. This, on the other hand, was not. I felt like the writing was rushed. I felt like the idea was a good idea. Like, I feel like the first book, we start off strong. Like, it's a really good idea. And the second book for me just took a huge downward spiral, and I just didn't like it. And so I will not be continuing this series. I do own the entire trilogy, but I'm not reading anything else that Carrie Maniscalco is writing. I'm so sorry, guys. Like, I know everybody is like obsessed with her books, and I'll be honest, I just can't get into it. I just don't think she's that good of a writer.
Oh, that was way harsh, Ty.
Whoa, I'm so sorry. Carrie Maniscalco, if you ever see this, I think you're lovely. And I think that your writing, like, just needs work. But I think you and your ideas, like your idea woman up here, you got it going on. Like, you know what you're doing. I just don't think your writing's very strong. So, that's just my personal opinion. I will not be continuing the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. The next one that I will not be continuing, that I just don't think I'm going to finish, but guys, like, please don't hang me or kill me when I say it. And this is like, honestly, kind of kills me to say it, but I just don't think I'm going to finish it. And that is the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy by Stephanie Garber. Now, I actually love Stephanie Garber. I think Stephanie Garber is fabulous. I love the Caraval trilogy. I think it's brilliant. I think it's wonderful. I'm such a big fan. I actually loved Once Upon a Broken Heart. Like, I thought it was a very cute romantasy. Like, I was really living for it. I thought it was really well thought out. I love Jax, like, if y'all are familiar, because this one is in the world of Caraval. It's about a new girl named Evangeline who, like, falls in love with this boy, and she basically asks, like, the Jack of Hearts, like, the saint, to essentially like bless her marriage and help her win back the guy that is like engaged to someone else. But then of course Jax tricks her, because that's what Jax does. He's the Jack of Hearts. He takes hearts. It's like his whole thing. And essentially she has to like go on this like adventure into another realm to essentially like break this curse that he's placed on her and all this other stuff. But Jax is like working with her, but also against her. It's a whole thing. Now, please don't hate me when I say it. I think that Stephanie Garber is fabulous. I feel like the only reason I haven't decided I will be honest, I don't think I'm going to finish this trilogy. I think I want to, but I just don't think I'm going to. Does that make sense? Like, it's one of those ones where I feel like I've grown out of the world, and I feel like I'm just like a little bit too grown out of the world to enjoy it. I also tried to read book 2, and it was honestly just like a little bit too slow for me. Like, I was honestly like, I was dragging my feet through it, because I finished this one and I started reading book 2. And I was just dragging my feet. Like, it was just a little bit too slow for me, and I didn't love it. And so I stopped reading it. And that was like 2-3 years ago when that one came out. And then book 3 came out and everyone was freaking out about it. And I was like, maybe I should give the trilogy a chance again. And then I just never did. It's one of those ones that I'm like, maybe someday in the distant future, I could finish this trilogy. It's actually one that I think is like really sweet, but I just think maybe I've grown out of it. I don't know. You guys can try and convince me in the comments. Like, y'all can come in the comment section and tell me why I need to finish this trilogy if you're really passionate about it. I think Stephanie Garber's amazing. It's not like Carrie Maniscalco, where, like, I think Carrie Maniscalco's idea is good, but I think the writing is bad. I think that this is actually, like, well written and the idea is great. I just don't know if, like, it's a series that I'm gonna finish because I kind of just, like, fell out of love with the characters and I kind of just, like, lost interest. But I feel like it's up my alley, but I don't know. It's one of those ones that I'm just kind of like, I don't think I'm ever going to finish this trilogy. But I love Stephanie Garber, and I will read anything else that she writes if she decides to write another series, like, outside of Caraval. I just think I want something different from her, is what I'm thinking. And the last one is a very popular series in the book world, and one of the, I would say, one of Book Talk's and just the world's most popular romantasy authors. We have This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi. Now, I never read the Shatter Me series by Tahira Mafi, which is one of the most popular book series, like, of all time. I was never a Shatter Me girl. I never did any of the Shatter Me books by Tahira Mafi. I've only read this one because I never read Shatter Me, but I was like, oh, I know Tahira Mafi is, like, a huge author in the book world, and maybe I should give one of her books a try. I read This Woven Kingdom, like, 2 years ago. I've never picked up the other 2 books. I think there's one more book that's out and then there's another book that's coming out, or both of the I think actually both the books in this series are out already, because it's the Two Twisted Something and then, like, the Infinite Threads. I don't even know. But essentially this one is about a young woman named Elise, and she's like an indentured servant, like very disposable, like nobody knows that she is really actually a long lost queen to a Jinn empire. And there is a young prince living in a castle named Cameron, and he is reading all these prophecies about a, like, monster who's going to, like, overthrow his kingdom and stuff. And so he starts looking for things, but then he meets Elise and they kind of, like, have a little moment and a little thing. And he kind of is, like, deciding, like, are you the monster that's going to, like, take over my kingdom, essentially? I think the plot of this was very interesting. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is totally up my alley. It's forbidden romance. It's, like, long lost queen. It's, like dark, brooding, like, bad boy prince meets, like, young, pretty, like, long lost princess with, like, an attitude, and, like, it was totally up my alley. Like, I was like, okay, like, this book will totally be up my alley. And I read the first one and it was all right. Like, it was good. I'll be honest, I think for me, Tahira Mafi, like, I actually think that she writes very well, but I think that she writes, like, almost, like, poetically, to the point where, like, it's just poetry upon poetry upon poetry.
Life is like a lime.
Like, this entire book, like, this is, like, maybe, like, 400 or 500 pages. This entire book takes place within, like, 72 hours. Like, it's within just, like, a 3-day span. Like, she gets fired from her job, she meets the prince, and then she goes to, like, a ball or whatever. Like, that's it. It's very, like, Cinderella vibes, kind of.
I have to go. Go? But you're about to be married! Ooh. But the talking mice say she's the wrong girl.
It's kind of interesting because she's so poetic, and she'll write, like, pages upon pages upon pages of just, like, and this is what the gardens looked like, and this is what his eyes look like, and, like, she could just write pages upon pages upon pages of, like, the poetry and the beauty of the world. Like, I can see this world vividly. Like, it's vividly there. I just don't think there's enough happening to warrant this much, like, paging. Like, I could have cut out half of this stuff just to get to the plot. I'm like, can we get to, like, the actual plot, please? And maybe it gets better as the series goes on. I don't know. I just wasn't moved by it. Like, it didn't like take me away that I kind of expected. Like, people talk about the Shatter Me series like it is God's gift to this world. And maybe it is. But, like, I just never read it. And so I figured, like, Tahira Mafi's other series is probably really good. And I think that she's very poetic and she writes very well, but I just don't think it's, like, it's moving enough for me. And there's enough happening for me to, like, get drawn into this world and for me to dedicate time to reading it. I'll be honest, it's just not for me. But it's probably for some other people. Respect you if you love this and love her, but it's just not for me, and I don't think I'm going to finish it. Now, for the final 3, these are 3 book series that I will be continuing, okay? These are ones that I'm going to keep reading. We are going to start with the questionable and the controversial Sky Shade by Alex Astor. Guys?
Father! Ugh. See?
Spoiler. Okay, I'm going to do a spoiler-free section right now, and then I'm going to give a spoiler-ish kind of review. Okay, spoiler-free section of Skyshade. I'm frustrated with Alex Astor, okay? I'm frustrated because I think that, like, I kind of fell in love with Lightlark and Nightbane over the summer. Like, I read both of them. Nightbane especially, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I feel like this is the first time that an author is doing a love triangle and it's actually working out. Like, I actually am, like, seeing it through fruition. I feel like it totally makes sense. And I'm like, yes, the love triangle, like, I can finally see the beauty of it because I hate love triangles. I've hated them literally since I was, like, 15 years old, reading The Tiger's Curse, like, for the first time. Like, I have never liked a love triangle. And because to me, it's not realistic, okay? I'm so sorry. Like, the Jacob Edward situation, like, I'm so sorry. Clearly, Bella was going to pick Edward. Like, duh.
That's Edward Cullen. He's totally gorgeous, obviously.
So, like, I just have never liked a love triangle. And this was the first time I was like, okay, I feel like an author's finally giving, like, some justice to the love triangle. Like, I feel like we're finally, like, it's actually kind of working out. And then this book happened. And I'm frustrated because, first of all, Alice Astor's so sneaky. She gets up on Good Morning America on Tuesday and she's like, oh, by the way, there's 2 more books in this series. It's not a trilogy. So we didn't get a conclusion on that, which, okay, that makes sense that we didn't get a conclusion. But, like, okay, spoiler starting now. Okay, ready? If you don't want spoilers for this book, go to this timestamp. I'll give you the timestamp down below in the comments. Like, go to this timestamp to skip the spoilers, okay? She didn't decide. She didn't decide who she wanted to be with. She, like, still hasn't made up her mind. She's like, but I love them both. She's like, I love Oro and Grimm. Girl, you are married to Grimm. You are married to Grimm. He is literally your husband. Like, you are delusional. Isla, wake up and smell the roses.
You're an idiot and a scammer.
You are married to one of them, and you still can't decide which one. You're like, but which one do I want to be with? You're married to Grimm.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Like, and Grimm also is the better choice. Like, I'm, like, so mad. I am so angry. Like, I'm so furious because I want to like Alex Astor so much, and I'm so mad at her. But, like, because for me, like, the writing in this was so poor, and, okay, spoiler-free section, our spoiler section is over. We're now getting into just, like, my thoughts on the book. Thoughts on the book are just that, like, I don't think the writing is very good in this. I thought it was way too fast-paced. I think that, like, it's entertaining enough that I want to keep reading it, but, like, it was way too fast-paced. I feel like she was introducing characters that we had, like, never met before in this and just, like, acting like as if they've been there the whole time. She's, like, jumping through passages as if we're, like, speeding through this whole thing. There were so many times that I just wanted her to just, like, slow down and just, like, let us enjoy the book for a second. I feel like I had no chance to, like, just enjoy this book. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, there's some cute little spice in here, and I'm like, yeah, I live, obviously. But I'm also, like, I just want it, like, this book could be so amazing. Like, this could be, like, the epic fantasy of a lifetime, and it's not. And maybe that's just not for everyone. Like, maybe that's just, like, I want it to be something that it's not, and that's not fair to me to put expectations on this book. However, I just think we can do better. But, in conclusion, I rated this 3 stars, but guess what? With the way that this one ended, am I going to read book 4? Yes. Like, I'm going to read the next book, and I'm going to read book 5 probably too. TBH, though, like, I watched a TikTok the other day, and some girl was like, this is the final straw for me. I'm never reading a book by Alex Astor ever again because this one was just, like, kind of a hot mess. And I kind of agree with that. Like, I almost want to give up on Lightlark. But to be honest, I really want to know how it ends. Like, I am entertained enough and frustrated enough that I'm like, I'm almost going to buy the next book, like, out of spite. Like, I'm honestly, like, going to read the next book, like, out of spite for Alex Astor because I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'm curious enough to know what happens in the next book because she leaves us on a crazy cliffhanger and I need to know. Like, I kind of want to know what happens next. Is it going to be poorly written? Maybe. But I do want to know what happens next. And so I'm hoping the next book is better than this one was. This one really frustrated me. I was very frustrated reading it. But I am going to continue Lightlark because I am interested enough to know what happens. And to know what happens to my boy, Grimshaw. Okay? My husband. I love him. So, that's where we're at with, like, Lightlark. I am going to finish the series. The next Romantasy series that I absolutely will be finishing next year, because the book comes out in April, I think, of next year, or March, I can't remember, and that is Lauren Roberts' Powerless. Guys, I love Powerless. I think Powerless is great, and I think maybe the difference for me between Alex Astor and Lauren Roberts is that, like, I guess, like, going into it, I know what this is going to be. This is going to be medieval Hunger Games. Like, I knew what it was going to be. I knew it was going to be medieval Hunger Games, and it was going to be simple, simplistic. It was enemies to lovers. It was raw. It was passionate. And I was just going to, like, accept it. And I will say, Reckless was not my favorite book that I read this last year, the second book in the series, but I will say it left us on a really interesting cliffhanger that I will be honest with, I was not expecting, like, at all. Like, it was a very unexpected way. Like, it was kind of like, I kind of liked that it wasn't the way that I thought the story was going to go. And so it was really unexpected. And I definitely want to finish the trilogy, like, absolutely. Do I think this is the best well-written thing I've ever read in my entire life? No. But do I think that Kai is an amazing book boyfriend and he has some of the best book banter that I've ever read? Absolutely. I think that this has some of the best enemies to lovers banter that I've ever read. Like, it is off the cuff, it is quick, it is witty. And that's something that I absolutely love about this book, is that it's just like, I feel like it's very smart. Like, I feel like it's a very simple plot, and it's very simple to read, and it's an easy read, but it's smart, and I feel like it's catchy. And I feel like for some reason, like, that works for this. I also think that her pacing is a little bit better than Alex Astor's pacing. Like, I think the pacing in this is a little bit like, we're still, like, taking our time. Like, we're not rushing through. Like, I feel like I'm still, like, it's a simple plot, but I'm getting to know the characters, and, like, we're not jumping through hoops to, like, get the book done. Like, I feel like we're just, like, enjoying it, and we can still just, like, have fun with Kai and Peyton, and, like, it's a cute enemies to lovers, and I'm absolutely living for it. So I'm definitely excited for Fearless, which is the third book in the series, and it will be coming out next year, and I'm very, very excited. It's one of my most anticipated reads for 2025. I'm excited to complete the trilogy. It's going to be so much fun. And the last book that I want to talk about that I will be continuing, because book 2 comes out next year in May, we have Danielle L. Jensen's A Fate Inked in Blood. The second book comes out next year called A Curse Carved in Bone. I am very excited because we got left on the craziest cliffhanger, which is, like, honestly, like, the tea for all three of these. A Fate Inked in Blood. Guys, I love this book. I think it's great. Not everybody likes this one. Like, I think this book is awesome. Like, it's kind of is exactly what it's telling you. It's Viking romantasy, okay? We're getting, son to the king. She's technically married to the king, but, like, son to the king is in love with her, will protect her at any cost, would die for her. They're in love, but they can't be in love because technically she's married to his dad, which is, like, ew, gross.
Yeah, gross! Ew, nasty!
But it totally makes sense in the Viking world, so just, like, roll with it. She is God blessed with God blessed powers. Like, the king is using her to, like, essentially, like, take over the entire land and stuff because she has God blessed powers. And she is just trying to, like, survive and live as a woman in this world. And living as a woman in this world is just impossible. Like, you just are owned by men. Screw these guys. Like, literally. Like, I just love this book. It's just a big, like, screw you to the dudes, like, in here. Like, I just love it. I think the romantasy in this is really sweet. I think that the magic system is really cool. And I also think that, like, I really enjoy the main female character. Like, she's fun to read about and I enjoy her. But I actually really like the romance in this. And I think that Bjorn and her have a great, like, chemistry. I think that they have, like, a great connection. The ending of the second book was completely unexpected and I absolutely, like, died for it. I was like, oh, I cannot wait to read book 2. That's going to be crazy. So I can't wait to see what happens to our main heroine. Why can't I remember her name? Freya. I can't wait to see what happens to Freya and Bjorn in the next book. And, like, because right now we're, like, enemies to lovers to, like, back to enemies to lovers, and it's, like, a whole thing. Like, I am just, like, eating this one up. I think it's also fun to switch up the type of fantasy that I'm reading, and I like that this is different. Like, I like that it's a Viking fantasy. Like, I like that it's, like, different worlds, different gods, and if you're not familiar with the Viking, like, gods and stuff, just do a little quick Google search. I like Norse mythology. It's really interesting to me. It's not my most favorite. I think Greek is probably my most favorite, but I really enjoy this one because I think it's interesting, and because I like Freya, and I think she's an interesting female main character, and I think that she's, like, determined and strong, and I like Bjorn. I like him. I like that he is just, like, this, like, protective, burly, like, kind of quippy, like, sarcastic guy. Like, I like him, and I like her, and I think that they have a good, like, romance going on, and it just feels more grown up. Granted, though, all the books that I talked about today were technically, like, YA-ish. Like, they're all YA except for this one. This one is new adult / adult, so this one's more grown up, but regardless, I just like this one better, and I think the writing is stronger because Danielle L. Jensen, kills it every single time. I love that woman, and I love this book, and I can't wait to continue reading it. So that is all the Romantasy series I won't be continuing and Romantasy series I will be continuing for you guys today. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Living Literature YouTube channel. It is going to be so fun. I have so many fun things planned. And happy holidays to all of you guys out there. I hope you guys are enjoying the cold season. If you guys have any book recommendations and or book video ideas that you want to see me do here on the channel, please leave them down below in the comments if there's anything that I haven't done this year that you want to see before the end of 2024. We're coming to a close on the end of the year, guys. I have made it to 60 books so far. I have 10 more to hit if I want to hit my goal of 70. We're going to see if I can do it. I am so close. We are going to see if I can hit that before the end of the year. I love you guys the most. I hope you guys are having an amazing holiday season. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.